Where are my fucking nuts?
So welcome to Not ASMR with Billy and Oliver.
I've got some nuts to eat.
What nuts have you got, man?
I think I should have cashew nuts, mixed nuts, a mix of almonds, hazelnuts, cashews and pecans. Or just almonds.
Let's have a good old gander at these. Oh, cashew nuts are so solid though.
I love cashew nuts. But I've already had cashew nuts today.
You say cashew.
Yeah, I do say cashew. Is it cashew?
Yes, it's cashew.
Is it though? Or is it like up for... Does it matter? Like, is that the official way?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't matter. But, I'm sure it's cashew.
I say... What did I say?
I'm sure it's right. I'm sure it's... In fact, I think I prefer cashew, actually, now.
Do I say cashew?
Yeah, you said cashew.
Right.
And for some reason
Cashew.
it offended me so much that I had to
Cashew nuts.
raise awareness to the fact that
See,
you
it
said
sounds
cashew.
weird now. I'm saying cashew nuts. I want to say cashew nuts now.
I want to say cashew nuts.
Maybe it's one of those ones that just flips on its head.
So what else have you got? You've got mixed nuts.
Mixed nuts.
Mixed nuts.
Almonds. Hazelnuts.
Hazelnuts.
Halsey. Cashews and pecans.
The pecans.
Or I've got just almonds.
He's an almond.
We'll open the mix bag.
All right. I'm interested to see what an almond would possibly taste like.
Have you never tried an almond?
Not that I can remember.
Really? I'm sure that'll be a very recognisable flavour because, well, hold out your hand.
Okay. That's so many almonds!
Yeah, they're not all almonds. This is the...
They're not all... Alright, okay. Well, which one's an almond then?
The almond is this one. The one that looks like traditionally very nutty.
Right, okay. Let's...
Give it a blast and see what you think. I'll eat one at the same time so that we can... You know, when you have peace of mind that someone else has got the exact same...
Alright, shall I have another one with you? Because
Yeah.
I scanned that really quick.
Well, it's kind of lost the point now because you've already tasted what they taste like.
Well...
Almonds are trash. That's rubbish. I mean, it's nice, but they're dry as shit.
I'm not getting much from this.
What, from the nut tasting session in general, or the almond?
Oh, the almond.
I mean,
I'm not a big fan of. I'm going for another one though. Look at this.
They've got a nice flavour, like, eventually.
I'm still tasting
what I
like the really spicy omelette that I've just had. So
That's true. Spicy Omelette is the name of one of the demos.
spicy omelette is a name of one of the demos for album number 3.
It's interesting to me that you're demoing for album number 3 already, because I'm not ready for that yet. I'm still
I can't even remember.
I'm still, for some reason, focusing on the album we haven't put out yet.
I mean,
Well, you've jumped ahead of the game and are now writing album 3. And that intimidates me because it makes you write quite fast. So
I don't know.
For me, that's like...
I write bits quite fast.
Oliver's going to write the whole of album 3 by the time I'm even thinking about album 3. And then I'm going to have to...
What were these guys? These are tasty.
These are hazelnuts.
Oh, I'm a big fan of hazelnut.
Hazelnuts are good. They've got a nice creamy sort of nuttiness to them.
Creamy nuttiness.
They remind me of chocolate.
Is that because you associate them with chocolate because you would have them in chocolate?
That is exactly the reason I think of chocolate when I eat hazelnuts.
That's it. I don't really like nuts in chocolate.
Really? Have you tried them in chocolate?
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan. It's like mint in chocolate. That just disturbs me, quite frankly.
Yeah? Well, what's your optimum chocolate combo? Are you quite a plain chocolate sort of guy?
Chocolate's just so damn good.
What's your favourite chocolate bar?
See, I'm kind of going away from what I just said because my favourite chocolate bar would be the Oreo Dairy Milk.
Okay. They are incredible.
They're so fire.
The sweetness of them is incredible.
I'm a big fanboy of them.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good. There's actually one at the moment that's out that's like an Oreo sandwich one.
Oh, I've
Have you seen it? So like the Oreo,
I've sampled such a thing.
instead of the Oreos being on the inside of it, they're like on the outside of it.
Yeah,
and the bar of chocolate's through the middle.
They're incredible, quite frankly.
I don't. Well, I don't eat milk chocolate anymore, but Whisper Gold was my. They were, and also Dark Bounties.
You're not even gonna. You can't have Dark Bounties anymore.
No.
So,
which is a shame.
So every single practice we have pretty much, not anymore, but it would be. Billy would get a Dark Bounty.
Dark Bounty is was my ultimate comfort food. I would eat them all day, every fucking day.
See, I'm just impressed that you got as much comfort as you did from a Dark Bounty. I'm not sure how much comfort...
You know when you just connect with something on a very personal level?
Yeah?
Through its taste. I don't know if you have something that's like your ultimate taste, that when that's in your mouth, nothing is wrong with the planet.
Probably macaroni cheese, actually. Just because I associate macaroni cheese with all the good times.
Such a vague statement. I just associate macaroni cheese with all my good times.
Pretty much every single time I've had a good time, about like 60-40, mac and cheese has been involved.
Yeah.
Somehow.
One of my last, if not my last foray into non-vegan food was when we came here originally to record the first podcast, which is actually now this podcast, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because Andy came in for the other one.
Yeah.
But originally came round to do this one, and you had excess mac and cheese because you'd went mac and cheese mad.
I went ham.
You went ham on the mac and cheese, and I finished all that was left.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I was meant to finish all that was left, or whether you were just offering me like a normal portion out of what was left.
It was kind of like...
Because I think there was a hint of disappointment in your voice when you realised I'd just finished it all.
I can't remember if it was disappointment. I'm pretty sure... I think I was gonna...
It was rude of me, and I do apologise.
No, I was happy that you enjoyed it as much as you did.
It was very unproductive, because I trekked all the way out here to do a podcast, which was going to be the first podcast, and we were really excited.
And then you kind of watched me write a riff that I really wasn't that vibing anyway.
And then I ate loads of mac and cheese.
And you fell asleep on my bed. I was just slogging away writing this riff, and writing drums for this riff that I didn't really care about. And I'm just sort of like, oh, what do you think of this? And you're fucking asleep on my bed.
I came over, ate all your mac and cheese, fell asleep on your bed, and demanded that you write a riff that you weren't even rhyming. And then I went home, and I fucking missed the train that night as well.
I didn't get your message that you'd missed the train until the morning after.
Yeah, you were definitely asleep by that point, in a very bad mood. But the thing was... The thing was, it was like one of those... it was one of those ones where I was at the top of Leith Walk, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty much at that sort of back entrance to Waverley Station now.
Yeah.
But you're not at that point. There's still a little chunk of walking to do.
Yeah.
So I then walked, and I got just past the Omni Centre. Okay, this is sound, and I sort of checked my watch again, and it wasn't sound. And that little bit had taken me so much more than I thought it was going to take. So then I started running. So I ran all the way down the hill on Carlton Road into the side entrance at Edinburgh Waverley. And the Borders Railway train is always at the very far away one.
Yeah.
And it's such a silly platform. I sprinted all the way across Waverley, up a set of steps, and then down a set of steps, just so I could cross over to where the train was. And then when I got to the bottom of those steps, it went. And then I had to wait 40 minutes for a bus.
The thing is, see my old flat, you could have just come back. But
that's it. Yeah.
But with here, it's you have 40 minutes to wait. It would probably take you 40 minutes to get back down here. So
it's just not an option.
You're just stuck. It's stuck in
not
town.
an option. So yeah.
That's cry every time.
And then I just went for a walk. And I was like, this was naff as fuck.
That's the most upsetting walk I can imagine. Is it
so cold?
You'd essentially just be walking off your mac and cheese in the freezing cold.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where it's half an hour ago I was so snug in somebody else's bed, all cozy, having eaten all their mac and cheese, and now I'm walking about alone in town in the cold. What happened in it?
I think I was like nowhere near as fed up with you as I have been in the past. But that level of fed up where it's just sort of like, well, that's Billy's problem now, and then went straight to bed.
I quite frankly deserved it. Because I was like, I'll just message Oliver and like, well, I'll message you while I'm waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
And I just didn't get a reply. And I was like, oh man, he's asleep in the bed that I was asleep in like half an hour ago. I've made it all cozy.
I probably
for
wasn't
him.
even asleep. I just saw the message. And I just was like, I can't be arsed.
Fuck him.
I can't be arsed.
Yeah, that was bad. So hopefully this time it doesn't happen.
There's been so many times, especially recording the album we've not put out, where you would just be like the walk of shame almost home from mine after an abysmal night of recording.
Well, it was the writing process when we had like a little bit of actual structure as to when I was coming up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like Wednesday nights and Sunday nights I was up.
Yeah.
After work all the time because I was off on Thursdays and Mondays.
God, I don't even remember that. But yeah, I remember them
So it was
happening.
I remember them vividly, but they were like a thing for me. It's like like I had to go somewhere. It wasn't just me for you. It was just someone popping round to your flat.
To be fair,
it
it was great because it would just be like someone's popping around the flat and we're going to actually do something instead of like hang out. Because it's like
we were very productive in that period of time though, and I think the routine was quite helpful. But because of that, I got my journeys absolutely nailed to the second.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, so long as I leave Oliver's with like 12 minutes and 30 seconds before the bus, I'm gonna get the bus.
Yeah.
Whereas now you've moved down here, which is sort of down the bottom of Leaf Walk. I don't know the exact journey time yet, so I'm still working it out, and I left it. The mac and cheese just took my energy away, and I wasn't on the ball, and I totally fucked it, and I deserve it.
It's just the crippling mac and cheese.
But it's just part of the, and I'd be very, very reluctant to get a bus up Leith Walk because I like walking. And it's called Leith Walk for a reason. It's not called Leith Bus. That'd be really dumb if it was, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's like I suppose you've got Leith, like road. What would that mean? You would do
row.
I suppose Elm Row.
Oh yeah, Elm Row you would row down. Leith
Elm
Walk,
Row
walk
requires you to row down
yeah.
and up as well.
I don't think there's any other puns that I can think of off the top of my head from street names as to how you would travel down them.
Yeah, they dried up really quickly.
Yeah, we got two, and now we've hit the sort of awkward end of that section of this conversation. Here's a little bit of trivia though, obviously. You know the bit at the bottom of Leaf Walk that says the foot of the walk?
Mm-hmm. We missed out on foot of the walk. That could have been...
No, oh yeah, on foot.
Foot.
But foot of the walk is like a play on at the foot of the world. Because Andy was living down this way at that time.
As in, they named Foot of the Walk after Disposable's
no,
first album,
no.
At the Foot of the World.
No. But that was the wording structure basis as to
Old Leith, like when Edinburgh was still villages, somehow heard At the Foot of the World.
No,
by
I mean
Disposable.
we were inspired by that, not they were inspired by us. Leith's been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But the big sign, so every time I see the big sign, you know, that says the foot of the walk,
Yeah.
I'm like, that is in some way the sort of where the wording for the album title came from.
I totally understand.
And it was like, there was something vaguely relevant about it at the time.
Totally understand, just being vaguely annoying.
And it was just... You reckon you're always vaguely annoying? Do
I
get that feeling where you're just vaguely annoying all the time?
Well, listening back to the last... Is it technically the last week's now? It'll be last week's,
Yeah, because
right?
this is going to be Sunday that this comes out, so...
Man, I listened to like last week's podcast and just listening to my patter. Oh, I hated it so much. Wow, terrible. And then it's like I did that thing where I tried to like, what's the word? Distance myself from it and view it objectively. And I still came across as the type of guy I would hate to listen to in a podcast. Like the kind of like...
Even when you're pretending to be someone else.
Even where I'm just kind of pretending to be someone else, viewing it objectively, going like, who are these three quite funny gadgets? It ended up being like, who are these two funny gadgets and this other guy. It was I hated it. It was so bad.
The way when I was like listening back to it briefly, I couldn't make it all the way through it. But I just wanted to listen to bits, especially the story at the end about Andy getting done for attempted murder.
I mean,
that's worth listening to over and over.
That's astonishingly good.
But the thing about Andy is he's got good conversational skills.
Yeah.
So he was kind of, if you actually listen back to it, he was leading most of the conversations.
Oh yeah, totally.
Whereas this time
Which
it's
is great.
just me and you.
Yeah, this is like...
And we've kind of got this awkward sort of conversational style.
Yeah.
I'm having to think very closely about trying not to achieve that right now. So I've brought it up just to, to test ourselves to see if we can get past this.
It's like healing, isn't it?
It is.
A relationship
therapy.
Yeah,
conversation therapy, man.
Our relationship is like a calloused wound that is healed wrongly. So we now have to massage the wound.
But at the same time, we have healed each other. But
you've healed me in so many ways.
We've just patched each other up in a silly way, and like
almost as a joke.
A professional would see it and say, "You really need to, you should have got proper stitches done." It was like Jack's lung when it burst the first time. Burst. Jack's lung when it collapsed the first time.
His lung is burst, man.
And I think the doctors just.
Sorry, I've just helped myself to your nuts.
It's fine, man. They're rubbish, aren't they?
They're fucking crap.
I'm not liking any of these. I mean, they're all nearly nice.
Yeah.
But none of them are nice. But they're quite addictive, so not so good for you, apparently.
Not the salted ones, though.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
We were talking about healing each other.
Oh, and how we just haven't healed anyone.
I think we've got quite a therapeutic friendship, though. I think we can communicate quite well about most things.
We're a couple of therapeutic lads, I think. I think we're zen enough without being too zen.
I think we're on quite a similar emotional wavelength in terms of like cooping things up in certain situations and then letting them go directly in each other's faces.
It's so true.
Me and Jack have a similar relationship where we can have quite good deep chats, you and I can have quite a good deep chat with Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think me and Liam have ever had a proper deep chat.
I think I've had.
But at the same time, I would fully trust him to have one with him.
I had no choice but to throw deep chat at Liam.
Nah.
And not because I was like, just because he was there.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh shit. It's just kind of like his default thing. He's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, son.
The phrase "oh shit" is used a lot by Liam, and in good and bad terms. Like I feel like I could say, "Oh Liam, I just found out this really terrible thing, man. I'm just feeling mega shit." You go, "Oh shit," but then if I'd be like, "Oh Liam, fucking, we got the mixes back for the album and they're fucking brilliant, man. You need to hear this." You go, "Oh shit." It's just like his go-to sort of.
It's almost frustrating when it's like, I want you to actually kind of involve yourself in what I'm actually trying to discuss with you. Oh shit! It's like, oh, shut up.
But at the same time, like he is good at taking emotional stuff because he is a very compassionate sort of guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't like.
He's quite frankly.
He would be there for you.
He's a fucking sweetheart.
Whereas like, if I was in a bad place, it would be you or Jack that would get the main brunt of it.
Yeah. But
it's not a discredit to Liam. It's just like, I feel like I would rather burden you guys with it. Liam doesn't deserve my baggage. Whereas if you and Jack have my baggage, I'm like, well, fuck you guys. It's just part of being pals with me.
I know, exactly.
Whereas Liam, it's like, I want to be perfect for you.
I don't think. You're perfect for me. I mean, like, I don't think I've burdened Liam with that much of my baggage. It's just his little face. You don't want to. Nobody. It's like telling like a little kid that Santa doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like why you?
Liam, I've got something genuinely emotional to say to you. It's like, exactly the same as telling a child that Santa doesn't exist.
Yeah, just like you wouldn't want to do that. Not to poor wee Liam. He deserves better.
Liam just deserves wonderful things at all times, and we don't always deliver those goods.
Oh God, we really do not. Sometimes it's like, see, it's weird, man. It's like when me and Liam are in another band together, called No Quarter, and I've known Liam on and off. Well, I've known all you guys on and off before the band anyway, but like being around Liam is like, or me around Liam when I'm not in a disposable situation, we're best buds, like we're really really similar and really really chill.
Yeah.
But in some cases where I'm doing disposable stuff, I'll just straight up fucking slam everyone with a fuck off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're quite good at that.
It's just it like Liam is like he's one of my best pals. He's great, but as soon as I think as soon as like a disposable, in the context of a disposable thing, it suddenly becomes all of you suddenly become a little less tolerable.
I think,
including myself. I probably because I'm just in proper slam mode.
I think you and Liam in particular work in very different ways. Mm-hmm. And I feel like
that was a nut that I just cracked with my 2 front teeth.
Left, like, I feel like in certain situations we're really adaptable, and in certain situations we're not. Like me, Jack, and Liam, we've got our set way of doing things.
Yeah.
And if it's so Jack's kind of like, if it's anything to do with, like, pernickety little bits in riffs, you know, like musicy stuff, he'll get really really passionate about these things that to you will be really trivial. You know, one note in a riff that, you know, doesn't matter, but it means the world to Jack.
The kind of thing that was like, if that one note isn't how he wants it in the song is basically ruined.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like which is like one of my favourite things that was thrown about during the making of this album was that it was just, if anything was slightly not to someone's taste, it's like, well, if that remains like that, I'm not paying for my quarter of the mix and master, so someone else is. It would be for that specific song.
You so pulled out so many times, and I hated it.
It'd be like, well, if that song's going to be like that, then let's divide the entire cost of the mix and master by 8, and that's all the tracks, and then we'll divide that by 4, and I'm not paying that, because I'm not paying for my quarter of that song, because that song is now dead to me.
I think I remember like when we were doing vocals, and you it was like over like one vocal, and I was like, nah, it's great. And you're like, it's shit. I'm like, nah, it's great. And you pulled that one out. If that vocal goes on the album, then I'm not releasing the album. I think I literally just screamed, not at anyone or anyone, just a proper just.
You just shrieked. just shrieked like someone that wanted to die.
See, like, well, if we're talking about that kind of stuff, we should really talk about that time that I punched myself in the head.
In the haze.
The haze. Hastily. The head face.
That was definitely the lowest point of making the album, I would say.
Yeah, that was
we were just in. There was some bad vibes going around the camp at that.
Some little bad vibes going on.
There was some bad vibes going around the camp at that point, for no real reason other than just the frustration of the point we were at making the album, where it was almost nearly done, but it wasn't on the hill yet.
I think it's like with me,
and it had taken a while to get to that point.
I think, and I'd like sat with it for ages. And usually this is like the first project, this is going to sound really bad, but this is like the first project that I've done that I've openly resented before it's finished. Like,
I mean, I think it was, see, for the rest of us, we weren't living and breathing it in the same way that you were living and breathing it, having to record most of it.
Yeah.
So we were just chucking out all this stuff that we would chuck out to anyone that was producing it, that, you know, and we're usually used to being able to just be very straight with whoever's producing it on what we want.
Yeah.
Whereas you're actually one of the quarter that make up the band as well. So then that added in this whole element of sort of, you know, we can't be dead stern with the producer here, because the producer is Oliver, and all your opinions matter just as much as everybody else's. So the frustration of having to actually, you being alert all the time, having to work on it on the producer level, whereas we were always just constantly thinking about the creative side of it. So I don't know whether like juggling those two things.
You wore me down like some particularly honestly, annoying sandpaper.
There was a
it's like
grade A sandpaper. Like there was days when me and Liam would drive home from yours, and we'd be like genuinely speaking to each other, like, are we ruining Oliver's life? Like, have we ruined his life? And it became like this sort of in-joke in the band, where it's like, oh, thanks for joining the band, Ols, but sorry for ruining your life. Or 2 years since we started ruining Oliver's life.
And it was one of those things where it's just sort of like halfway between like the album process, it was just like, haha, oh guys, I love you. But then near the end, it was just sort of ruining life. It's like, you legit actually have, I think, at this point.
I mean, there was some bitter vibes towards the end.
It was like...
It was everyone... I don't know. The process, on the whole, took longer than we thought. So everyone was kind of frustrated by that anyway. So that was the bottommost layer of frustration. I mean, everybody felt it.
I'll describe like my frustration. It's like when I'm recording stuff, I'm always looking at the project files. I'm always like getting them up. I'm listening to them, and I'm like, oh yes, that's me. That's us. It's great. Whenever I mix it down and I send it, and I'm like, yes, this is great, and it's got a song. But with you guys, it would be like, I would send stuff, and then you'd always want to change stuff, and you'd be like, that's shit. And then somebody else would go, that's not shit. Yeah. And then somebody else would go,
but yes, it's shit.
Yes, that is shit. Somebody else would go, I'm not paying for the album if that is on the album. And then it would be like 60 comments in like the group chat feed.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like,
yeah, you'd send a message like, are these 8 bars fine? Can we all agree that these 8 bars are fine?
It got to the point where it got to the
like,
point where I had to do that stupid inane pish, and then to the point where I would do that, and it would still be 120 comments deep with no further forward, and I'd be like,
yeah, we do.
Who are you? Are you ridiculous people?
And the last comment in like a thread of 120 comments would always be, oh, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree, smiley face.
Yeah. It's like, just sour as fuck.
So it just got to the point where like I would look at like all the project files and then just be like, I hate this, because it would just be like, I don't want to mix this.
For the most part.
Because there's no point, because if I mix it and get it sounding good to listen to, it's just going to be to the point where it's like nobody thinks it's finished anyway. So it's like, well, if nobody thinks it's finished, then why the fuck should I bother? Yeah. So it just got so annoying and just like just so grim, and to the point where I didn't even want to open up Reaper, because then it would like the last project file open would be a Disposable song, and I'd be like, oh.
Bring back the memories.
Well, it would also be the fact that like I've not mixed that, and everyone should really listen to that and hear it, but it's like, I don't wanna, because I know they're just gonna be like, I hate that. And
yeah, just be like, you knew the inevitable results of everything you did would be me, Jack, and Liam not all agreeing on that.
Just like Tucker going, I'm not, just like that bit's out of tune. And it's just sort of like, I swear to God, Tucker, it is not. I swear on my nan's life.
I would describe the first 2/3 of the album process, from my point of view, was probably just me caring too much. And for the final third, I actually was in a pretty darn good mood, because I was like, no, well, yeah, this is actually really good. I don't know why I've been allowing it to stress me out.
Yeah.
And I had to really like take a step back and be like, this is meant to be fun. You're doing this because you love doing this. Why has it not been fun for the last month or so? Yeah. And you go, well, no one's paying me to do this.
Yeah.
I'm actually paying to do it and to make it, because I want to be creative. And, because in my head that's the most fun thing to do. So it's like, well, why for the last 4 weeks has this been utter pish and putting me in a bad mood? So I had to take a step back and just be like, what are you worrying about?
Yeah.
The songs are gnarly. Because there was quite a big period of time between when they were written and when they were recorded, I'd kind of forgot how excited we were about all these songs when we wrote them.
Yeah.
Because every single song that's on the album, when we finished writing it, it was like, that's the best song on the album.
Yeah.
That's gnarly as fuck. But then by the time it came around to actually finishing these songs, recording wise, and putting the final bits on, it's like it wasn't a listening.
Yeah.
It wasn't the joy of listening to them. It was the stress of creating them. So I had to take a step back and be like, okay, these you loved these so much when you wrote them. These are the same songs, and they're actually even better versions of them.
I think for me as well, because we did Ravenous, and we pretty much like mixed and mastered that between ourselves and our good pal Jack Davenport. He's in a band called Design, which I'm also in, lol.
You're in other bands and stuff.
Yeah, so's Tucker though.
Yeah,
Tucker's
me and
like
Jack always talk about the fact that you guys have more than one musical project. And so then me and Jack always end up going, well, me and you'll start another fucking side band. We'll start a fucking Antigator, a Crocodile themed crossover band.
Heartbroken that that's not happened yet.
It is going to happen at some point, but we just had a big argument about the vocal style. Because
Jack told me about this.
I was under the impression that if we were going to start a grinding Crocodile themed sort of crossover band, that we would just be sampling Crocodile sounds as all the vocals.
Yeah.
And I thought like part of the fun of it would be that we'd have lyrics. So we'd have full sets of lyrics that we'd release with the songs. But it is just crocodile sound like croaking crocodiles. And Jack's like, no, we have to sing them. And I'm like, but I thought crocodiles as a species were the front man of this band.
Yeah, totally.
And so we had a big
But he was round last time he was round. He was like, he just filled me in on the whole argument, and was just sort of like, nah, Billy's totally right. Because he was
eventually
I think you
realised how genius it was.
Did you not send him some like clips of like gator noises?
The sound of crocodiles and alligators is unbelievably good.
It
sounds
brutal.
it sounds like metal vocals.
Yeah.
And I was like, imagine that was the vocals, but there was also a set of lyrics that just didn't match it at all in any way. You realise that was funny.
Okay. It's like just like I'm maybe a 30-second song, and then like you've got a whole page of lyrics, and there's maybe only one sound in the whole thing, and that's like the big old like long growl over the intro blast beat, and then you maybe have like a slam at the end, and then that's it, 30 seconds, and you're done. Whole page, really like emotional, like meaningful stuff about alligators as well. Poetic.
I mean, we've sampled some lyrical ideas, and they're really good. We've got quite a good knowledge of alligator a day and crocodilus, so yeah, we're quite good on that sort of stuff, and it does mean a lot to us that. You know, that specific
passion project Antigator.
Well, at the time, right, when we came up with the name Antigator, because Antigator just sounds like a generic thrash band name, so it's like anti something, or you know, or animator, or you know, these bands that already exist. And it's like it rolls off the tongue nicely. And at the time, we were big fans of this, what we believed at the time to be a crocodile called Big George. Don't know if you were ever in on the Big George in joke, but
I mean, I've been around the patter.
Right.
I've not quite assimilated the patter yet.
He's basically a famous. He is an alligator, but we thought he was this famous crocodile that would roam about this golf course in Florida.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was a big, mad, massive motherfucker. Like he was ginormous. It was like
a big fuck off croc. Basically.
And then for years we just presumed he was a croc because it was like crocs are cool because they've got like a V-shaped snout, and alligators aren't cool because they've got a U-shaped snout, and if it's pointy then it's more like a flying V, which means it's more metal. And so eventually we found out that Big George was an alligator, and it was like, but this guy's been our crocodilian Christ figure for years now.
Crocodilian Christ figure, can that please be the name of the album?
Probably will be. No, the name of the album is Cold Blooded Killer. But yeah, that's going to be a song. So eventually, we found out that Big George was an alligator.
Yeah.
And it was like finding out your mum's your dad. And it was like, okay, Big George is an alligator. Who are we to, you know, single out this entire race? And then so now we just appreciate all sort of, you know, Both alligators.
Amphibians. All
yeah, I mean, I appreciate
all lake-dwelling cold-blooded amphibians.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Anti-Gator is still the title of the band, but it's now ironic because we're not anti-Gator at all. We're not Gator haters.
Gator Hater has to be a song as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and Crocodile. we've got it all sorted out.
Oh, that's just, I nearly farted in sheer delight. I remember remember Job?
Yeah.
My old flatmate and my old flatmate, they were gonna start a culinary themed death metal band.
Nice.
And they had song titles. I only remember two. One was Hammer Smashed Grapes and Frantic Dish Embellment.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't remember any others. I very much piggybacked on that patter, much like I feel I do.
What a patter piggybacker.
That's basically me. Yeah, I've assimilated the Disp patter, and now I just use it.
I feel massively sorry for the fact that your patter is now what our patter is.
I've definitely made a lot less friends.
Yeah. Oh, weird.
I haven't made the connection up until just now.
You'll find that you know more people, but you don't have more friends.
That's exactly it.
And so basically, in the long run, more people think you're weird.
Yeah, that's exactly
what it is to be.
That's exactly it. I don't do myself many favors. I kind of, like I said, I look like a.
That's probably my favorite thing about you, though.
What, the fact that I look like a German serial killer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, me and Jack's side project, which is gonna be born out of jealousy for your side projects. But then Jack asked me to officially join Anti-Gator, and I was like, if all your eggs aren't in the disposable basket, you can fuck off. You're not my friend anymore.
There's nothing really to be that jealous of. It's just I just like playing live. That's it. I like playing live. I like jamming. I
really like all the bands you're in, actually.
That's
and I like
really
all the
nice
bands Liam's in. And I like that they kind of cross over in themselves as well.
I don't really know, because Liam's in No Quarter with me. He's in the Skababs. I can't remember what else he does.
Liam's
he's kind of he's the kind
very
of
versatile.
He does
musician.
a lot of one-offs. Does a lot of one-off gigs, and like you'll just see on his Instagram that he's like playing like a cabaret show.
Yeah.
In his he's just suited up playing a cabaret show. Playing.
Well,
like
I think of Liam as like a good enough musician that I understand why people would want to hire him.
Oh yeah,
to do things. You know, he's actually good enough and knowledgeable enough on
good
his
bass
instrument.
player as well, man. We were just discussing.
He's a very gnarly bass player. He intimidates me a little bit, actually. But then I just go, well, we play different styles, bro. It's not a competition. And then I don't like any of his Instagram posts where he's playing bass.
I have noticed that. That's petty.
It is extremely petty, but it's cheeky.
You're kind of it's cheeky. It's just a bit of fun.
No, I do, he's aware of that happening, and he knows that it's all a joke.
It's all fun and games.
It's all a joke.
It's all fun and games.
But yeah, Liam's a fantastic drummer, and he's a very versatile player. And he's not actually really a metal drummer.
Nah.
Which is why I like him quite a lot. And you're quite a versatile guitar player, to be fair. Me and Jack are like, I'm good at metal bass, and Jack's good at metal guitar. That's pretty much where our musicianship stops. If we're going to be brutally honest. Like, that's what I can do. I don't actually have a huge interest in doing more than that.
I mean, my interest in doing a whole bunch of different stuff is kind of all but fizzling away. Not in a kind of where I just want to do metal, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like I'm kind of now knowing what I'm naturally good at. And I'm more naturally kind of good at maybe simpler, kind of funky stuff, kind of bluesier, bordering to kind of rock stuff, and you're kind of more simpler kind of metal. But at the same time, it's like I listen to progressive metal for fucking ages. I still do. I still love it. Like my favorite, I often say that my Metallica was Dream Theater. Yeah. Because I'm such a awful nerd. I'm just so bad. Like the worst guy. So I grew up wanting to be the best guitar player ever. And now that I am a grown up, I'm kind of just happy being meh. Like, I'm just so...
You're one of these weird, like... You're really good at shredding. And you've got... You always have that reaction when I say you are as well. But just let me finish, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna let you finish. But I'll just get the bearish... Fuck that. I stumbled on my words, but I was trying to do the can you
I think that's a shit patter alert.
That is a shit patter alert.
Oh dear.
We'll have to edit in a big awooga. Is it called an awooga? If I just make things worse.
It's called a klaxon, Billy.
Oh yeah. What's an awooga?
Awooga. Yeah, that's a...
Is that a klaxon?
Yes!
So okay, I was just making the sound.
You just made yourself sound like you grew an extra chromosome.
That's grossly inappropriate.
I've been saying it so much to the point where it's just sort of like... when I actually think about it, I realise quite how offensive it is. And I'm like, But I think I've now just kind of got to the point where I'm like, nah.
As I was saying, right?
Yes.
You're a gnarly shredder. And you've got good lead chops. And I'll and I won't have you saying otherwise.
Okay, well I better.
But you're not like a... It's not that you're reluctant, but like you're not desperate to play all the solos. And you're not desperate to chop at all times. Like if some shreddy guitar players are.
I suppose it's like with shredded guitar, it comes with it an ego, and I don't mean like ego in the kind of way that you maybe think so, like in a negative way. Just that kind of thing where they know they're good, like people who like have chops and are good enough to kind of make their chops into something interesting. Or even not, even just people who are like, know they can shred and are just perfectly happy letting people know that they can shred, even though they're doing the same 5 things that they do all the time. And like the more aware and of like guitar playing you are, the easier to identify it is. So even like guys like Yngwie Malmsteen, it's like if you listen to him enough, it's the same tropes. I mean, god damn, he's so good. Yeah. He's incredible, and it's still really musical, but it's the same tropes. And I think I'm so hyper aware of the fact that I have the same things that I do, to the point where I'm like, well, I don't really want to overexhaust them, and they're not even that good anyway. Like if I was gonna shred for maybe like 5-10 minutes, you'd be bored after like 2 minutes, probably less than that, honestly, because it's like I don't have much else.
So what I like about your solo style though is, it's probably just because it's different to what our solo sound was before.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Whereas we used to kind of like strategically write solos, whereas you just jam over them until you stumble upon something that's great. Whereas before we would like, I don't know, we'd be writing, like actively writing a solo instead of just jamming and working out that way what's meant to be.
So how would you even write solos then? Because it's like the way that I write solos seems like the most natural thing that you would do for writing a solo, but it seems not.
If ever I was writing a solo, like a lot of the songs that I wrote, I would write the solo for.
But how would you write it though? Do you have like, I want the solo to go like this in your head and then write it?
Kinda.
Jeez.
Kinda, yeah. But I was never actually good enough at lead guitar to write the solos I wanted to hear.
That's why I gave up doing that fucking years ago.
So I'd kind of write slowly in tab.
Right, okay.
And be like, right, Jack or Andy, one of you's going to have to actually learn this.
Right.
I remember some of the really early early solos that I wrote.
That I done wrote. Oh, excuse God. Get blessed, brother.
I feel blessed. This horrible thing just happened where I had like a mouthful of nuts.
Yeah,
and I sneezed and I couldn't do anything about them.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Bursting all over my hand.
Take it from me, it's a mess.
And now I'm picking.
Oh, it's horrible.
Boogie nuts off my hands.
In my house as well. That's disgraceful. You should be ashamed.
I couldn't do anything. This is absolutely disgusting.
This is so bad.
But so yeah, like a lot of the really early
I can't concentrate on anything you're saying now because I'm just looking at you like...
We're actively too bad. Too difficult to play. Because I was just
We're too bad.
Because I was like tabbing them out.
Yeah.
And going, oh my god, that's unbelievable fucking Shredmaster General. And then I'd send it to Andy and be like, that's unplayable. That's completely unplayable.
Yeah.
And there was one of the solos in At the Foot of the World.
General.
Like on the song At the Foot of the World.
Yeah.
I wrote this really difficult thing accidentally. And Andy actually learned it. And it's really good. And I remember being dead impressed that he learned it. But that was always the way we done solos. It was like it was created and then it was learned. Whereas you obviously just wrote as you were going along, and so you were. I mean, it's already like, knew it.
I suppose it's like I don't really know how any way else to do it. I think it's like I honestly don't know. I mean, whenever I solo, like, see, I don't really practice. And when I did used to practice, it was always just me jamming along to backing tracks.
Yeah, okay.
And that was basically my practice.
Yeah.
Getting the
that's a really good way of practice,
things that I know how to do sounding lit.
Yeah, sounding perfect.
Really good. But like, so when I'm like writing a solo, I would much rather approach it from that kind of angle of like, if I'm jamming it, what would I do naturally? Just because it's like...
Yeah, totally.
It's more honest, and I suppose it's like...
I mean, it does totally make sense as well.
Yeah, I mean, I may be overthinking it too much, but it's just like, man, that's just what
I think us actually writing them and crafting them that way is overthinking it. I think you just jamming and coming up with something great is...
I'm very much like a kind of from...
That feels raw to me.
I'm pretty raw.
You're a raw shredder.
I'm too real. But, yeah, I mean, I come from a kind of like... more kind of like rock... kind of idea. Like kind of like, I don't know, like my first, like I think everyone's first kind of guitar heroes.
Sorry, I'm opening more nuts.
No, it's alright. You go ham on those nuts. That was a little smile. I like that. I like the cheeky wee smile. But it's like, I think everyone's, I don't know, like my first favourite guitarists were like Jimmy Page and like Angus Young. Just like it would just get up, and it would come for solo time, and it would just be like I don't know, and then just blast a solo, and everyone, in hindsight, everyone's too fried to really to really know whether it was good or bad, him included probably, and something happens, and then he just kind of opens his eyes, and everyone's screaming as he goes back into the main riff, and he's like, well, that must have been good. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Except when you open your eyes, there's like 10 people out there going, it was no bad. Like,
10 people kind of looking at you and Jack like being dicks at the other end of the stage. To be quite frank, I'd be like, if people are like looking at me during a guitar solo, I'm kind of going, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is the more exciting things.
This is the boring part of this whole song. It's like it's if there's a guitar solo, it's either because you insisted that there had to be a guitar solo in it, or
I love guitar solos, massively.
Or I was feeling really self-conscious that day that I needed some validation. So I wrote it in just to kind of be like, I'm not bad.
My favourite story solo wise from making this album that's coming out soon was when you done we call it Loaf because that was the working title, but the song's Suffocator. And
so it is, yeah.
And you recorded the solo to that, and then must have been so fried when you recorded it that you forgot you recorded it.
It was Potato.
Was that Potato?
It was Potato, yeah. So after like the guitars in general, because like Jack, he word on the street is from Jack, he can't really smoke weed at all anymore, but because of his lung. But since I've known Jack, he's just been mad like Bram Stoker. And like I like to indulge as well, but the guitar process got so damn annoying and long, and to the point where the only thing that making it bearable was to get completely Bram toked.
You two were massively neck deep in the bakery for that entire section of the album.
Yeah, totally. So like, there was I don't remember a lot of the guitar recording, like a lot, and the solo, like the finished solo that you will hear on the album of the second track. Like I'd written the solo properly like for the demo ages ago, and we had like a kind of like a list of stuff that needed to get done, like right like on my desk. It was like my desk, laptop, and then I looked up and it would be the list of stuff that I hadn't fucking done, and like stuff that I needed to rope Jack back in, like hook him in from the ether of where he lives, and just be like, Jack, you need to do the pod parts for this song, please come back. And then for some reason, like that hadn't been ticked, like I hadn't ticked it. I just shredded myself silly, bro. And just was just so happy that I'd done it. I don't know, couldn't vouch for it. Were you not there?
I remember you doing it.
Wow.
And then like a week later you were like,
I'd still need to do that.
I better get that solo done.
Yeah.
And I was like, you fucking recorded it. I was there and I watched you done it.
Not only had I recorded it, I'd uploaded it to Dropbox, and everyone else had heard it,
we'd been
and said yes, it was sick. I was like, what?
It was like the one thing we agreed on the whole entire album process. And you forgot that it happened. And then you swagger in here saying that we don't agree about stuff.
Terrible. Yeah, it was bad. It got we were yeah. That was because the old that old flat. It was basically like, I can't describe it. So I had my bed in like the corner of the room, and then right next to the bed was like the French windows onto like this kind of grim looking patio.
I liked it.
It was grim though.
Yeah, but I liked it.
I mean, I liked it before I hated it, and I associated that place with every single
hate
bit
in general.
with just hate and misery, really. But you know, like, so if you were so inclined, you could potentially just, and it would be bed, window to the left.
That's on the left hand side.
And then my desk and obviously my recording stuff right next to it. So if you were so inclined, you could potentially just sort of like roll out of bed to the right, roll yourself a fat joint on the desk, roll yourself the other way out to the French windows, get yourself completely blazed, and then roll back in.
Without even officially being out of bed that day.
Yeah, and so, you know, the potential for wasting away your days and entire life was it was there. It was all the time. So like when Jack was there, and it was during summer as well, so it was like I kind of wanted to actually have a good time, and we all wanted to actually have fun doing this. So we would always like have a couple of smokes, but then it got to the point where it was definitely just making up for the fact that I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it also, yeah, it was just, it was so bad. What I was about to say before we got on a mad tangent was just the fact that like I wanted to make the album sound good as well.
Well, yeah.
Like I think I was so like self-conscious of the fact that
there was
you guys had an album kind of riding on me, and I kind of at least had to not be shit. But at the same time, I was like, I couldn't tell what was shit. I was so deep in this kind of muddy, smoky mess that it was just like, I can't tell what's good or not. And I don't know if I actually really want to care anymore. I kind of just want it finished.
Yeah.
Definitely at the end of it, where I was like, because I was moving out as well. So I was just kind of like, well, things have to be squared away.
It was quite anticlimactic when we actually finished it. Because it was like, it wasn't this big celebration. Because for the last about 6 weeks it had been like, okay, next week's the deadline.
Yeah.
And it's like, we better make next week the deadline. And eventually when it was finally the deadline, it was, no one wanted to celebrate because it was like, are you sure? Are we sure?
Oh, I didn't want to celebrate.
No,
I
don't think you would have been celebrating anyway.
I think I had a borderline like mental breakdown after I'd finished. I think I was just...
Yeah, I mean, I think we played a big part in your 2018 not being as good as it could have been.
I mean, it wasn't as like it's not as bad as that. Like, it's not like I hate you. Like, I don't like. Pretty much like a week after the album process was done, I was getting myself psyched to do it all over again.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
in a way, because it's like, you know, I'm like you said, I'm still writing for like album 3 now.
It's just easy to forget that it's meant to be fun. It's like what I was saying before. I had to just take a step back and be like, this is meant to be the best part of my life.
The crux of it was when we went in to record the vocals for, it's called Graves now, but it was called Slam, and then we were all kind of relatively looking forward to it because we were making good progress on the vocals anyway. And then I load it up and I'm like, I can't hear Jack's guitar track. It's just gone. So the way we did the guitars is we recorded our cabs through a pod and then go direct. So that'll be like your essentially live amp sound, even though, well, essentially like actual amp sound. And then we would record it through the pod. So, but like amp tones or amp tones, it's like we had tones that we put on the amp themselves. With the pod, it's like presets, so you can presets and patches, so you can literally just load them up and it's exactly the same. But the fact, I'd managed to lose or delete Jack's amp track for that song, like the whole thing. Like it just disappeared, completely gone. And it was like it was
the elusive guitar track.
Like if it had been my guitar tracks, I wouldn't have given a shit because I would have gone home that day and bashed them out, and they probably would have been better than the ones I'd recorded anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'd been sober. Because I would have been sober, and at this point angry as fuck. So I would have like it probably would have been better.
Them hard.
Slam them hard for slam. Really. It's not what it's called anymore, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. But you know, and it was the fact that it wasn't. It was tones that I'd have to try and recreate. It was Jack that I'd have to try and get back into a recording situation.
Yeah.
Just
the idea of having to organise something for Jack to do.
Yeah.
In itself can be a bit of a task.
And the fact that we would then have to do it again because it wasn't a particularly easy song for him to track. It wasn't hard.
It's not.
It wasn't like.
It's not one that's massively suited to his playing style.
Yeah, it's. I wrote that whole thing, and it's like.
It's a very you song.
And we never really 100% went over the parts anyway, so.
I don't remember learning that.
Yeah.
I remember not knowing it for a long time, and then one day we all knew it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I remember that. We all just kind of played it, and everyone played it pretty much right, and I was like, oh, lads.
I think we learned it in little bits over a very long period of time.
Yeah, totally.
Because I remember just not being able to play the main riff for fucking ages.
Yeah,
for
it's that kind of riff. So when I realised that I'd lost Jack's guitar track, it just, and we were here to do, it was just, and I'd done it like probably 3 months ago at that point. It was done and dusted, and then it was literally just like, not only is it another task for me to do with this fucking album, which I resent now, it's literally something that I'd already done. I'd already gone and done it. So it was just like, I hate, and so I just got so angry at myself for doing it, and also I just started punching myself in the head, like proper, just sort of like going full pelt, like.
I was genuinely very scared. Seriously.
I think everyone. It's
like, he's a little bit angry. He's hit himself in the head. Oh, he's not stopping. He's gonna kill himself.
It was so bad to the point where like I left big old like knuckle bruises in my forehead.
The shape of your own fist was implanted into your head.
I looked like a Klingon.
And then went purple.
It was so bad. It was like probably one of those things where it's just sort of like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. And then I looked in the mirror and it's like, you can definitely tell.
I remember a really sick thing that me and Liam talked about when we left that day. It was like, well, at least we know like he really cares, man, about the band.
Get out of my house.
Just after you'd had probably your worst session of the entire album tracking.
That was a very bad week, and that was so bad.
I remember doing the vocals after that. It was kind of like quite subdued because everyone was kind of like, okay, this has reached boiling point here today. Let's everyone just calm down and track some vocals.
Let's just take it down to a nice polite simmer.
In the zone, and I was like, okay, track them. Everyone kind of went home with their heads down a little bit, with their tail between their legs or whatever. And then I listened to it back, and I was like, all the vocals were fucking perfect from that session. And we didn't really realise it at the time because everyone was kind of like, oh, there was a dampener on that session.
I went home.
Let's just get the vocals down.
Yeah, I went home and I fucking found those guitar tracks.
Oh yeah, everything was fine. It was always going to be fine.
It was like the only slightly annoying thing, but at that point I was just so happy that they were there that I didn't give a shit. It was the track itself had gone, but all the individual takes that made that track were still there.
Yeah.
I think I didn't actually tell you. I think they were the actual ones, but I think they might have been all like the secondary takes.
I don't notice anything wrong with them when I listen to it now. So
that's the thing. Care. It's like it took me like
the album's done. You can tell me anything about it now, and I'm not gonna backpedal. It's done. It's away. It's getting mastered right now.
Yeah,
it's done.
Everything's
done.
Like it doesn't matter how bad a job I did. I'm paying someone top dollar to make it sound not shit.
It's yeah. Everything's gonna be fine. It sounds gnarly. There was some dark times in the process of creating it.
There's some dark times.
We don't have to worry about them anymore.
But they were dark and absolutely hysterical at the same time. Like every single time I got so angry at you boys, it was also just the most hysterical thing. It was so funny.
I mean, when you hit yourself in the face, that was the only time where I felt like it went beyond funny.
Yeah.
And we were now just... The process was endangering your health. Which was why me and Liam were like, well...
I remember at one point, because I was in between flats and I went back to my mum's for a bit. And, it was after one of, the vocal sessions and I was... Ones where... It was one of the... I think it was the one where I was just like, right, from here on in, I'm going to tell them that it's fucking finished.
Yeah.
And then from there on in, it still wasn't fucking finished.
It's never finished, bro.
So I was just like...
We're the...
You know when you
professional nitpickers, man.
Yeah, when you get so angry to the feel like you've literally something in your head has kind of exploded.
I started nitpicking stuff that I liked just to annoy you.
I honestly got so angry that I feel like something in my head broke and I'd had a borderline lobotomy. So
unfortunately for you, my sense of humour was very sick. And I really just enjoyed riling you up. I loved riling Jack up throughout the process of
deep
this
down
album
inside, I knew it was incredibly funny, but at the same time, it was just kind of like...
it was funny, but not in the way where we were all laughing out loud.
Yeah, totally. It was funny in the way where it was just sort of
tomorrow this will be fine.
It's like, God, I'm so angry at him right now. I want to kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Riling up Jack throughout the process of this was really, really joyful as well.
That was magical. That was some really good shit.
I went through a weird mental change throughout making the album.
Yeah.
From just going through some stuff and then kind of realising that it was funny for us to rile up Jack, but it wasn't funny for Jack.
No, it wasn't. It never is for Jack. After a while, you can maybe see the funny side, but even with some of the songs, he's like, I can see the funny side, but at the same time, fuck that. And it's like, yeah, okay, sorry. I think it got to the point where I started joining in on it, and then I took a step back and went, I've become a dick. I've actually become.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I just I had to be like, do I actually like any of the people in this band? Or do I just like feeling like a big man having people that I can just bully because well, I can't even
But
just because it's
somewhere throughout the process I was like, Jack's my fucking main bro. He is here for me at all times and always has been.
He's a truly wonderful and magical human being.
And then I just genuinely stopped taking pleasure in riling him up.
Yeah, like
because that might have been my sense of humour at the time, but it wasn't his sense of humour at the
it's
time.
probably like a coping mechanism. That's the thing. It's like you got. It's like you got to laugh or you're gonna cry, and then you were just too busy laughing about all the stuff you really wanted to cry about that you were just. You just ended up making everybody else cry around you.
I was a bad person.
Oh, I was a terrible person. Think about it. Like I got so angry at all of you for very little.
It was fantastic.
I felt like so alive, just being so irrationally angry at the people that I love.
Yeah.
Just being like, "That's Billy. He's my absolute brother. I love him to bits," and then going up and just screaming in your face.
Yeah, the phrase "I hate my friends" was used a lot throughout this. Just like when laughter
I hate
dies
my
down,
friends.
it's like, oh god, I hate my best friends.
Like I'm literally screaming and shouting at my best friends right now.
I think the process kind of taught me that, like that sort of hating your pals was not a good thing for me. And I kind of went through many years of sort of just having that kind of banter.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, no, I fucking love my pals, and
it's like,
let's fucking.
Because I didn't really see that. Because like
I've just started arse licking all my pals now, and every time Jack messaged me, I'm like, "Hey, handsome boy, I fucking love you with all my heart,
precious, precious man.
I hope you're having a wonderful day." And it's so much more rewarding than Jack messaging me saying hi, and me being like,
That's kind of like where my patter's gone, and I kind of like it. I'm like that with my new flatmates. And
it's got to be positive vibes, man.
Everything must be
A lot of things in 2018 taught me that it has to be fucking positive vibes for me, or it's just.
Oh, totally, man. It's like
it needs to be a conscious effort to upkeep positive vibes.
Totally. I mean,
I'm the kind of guy where they just disappear, and it's not like negative vibes take its place.
Yeah.
It's just no vibes take its place.
Aye.
And that's just like mundane and just not productive for anybody. So it's all about active, positive vibes now, which is why me and you are just chilling here, eating a pack of nuts,
packing of almonds,
talking about it, having a good time, talking about how much we love Jack, and Liam.
And Tucker.
Liam is Tucker.
Yeah, I just call him Tucker.
No, but I said and Liam, and then you said and Tucker.
Yeah, I meant to say and Liam in agreement, but I just never call him Liam anymore. So I just call him and Tucker. So yeah, sorry I confused you there.
You do just call him Tucker.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Do you not think it's funny that his surname's Tucker?
I love it.
It's such a fantastic surname, and it suits him like a lot.
Tucker. It's great.
He's a little Tucker.
It just sounds like
Liam Trucker.
Liam Trucker. It just sounds like the like.
I call him Graham sometimes, because I remember one time someone asked him what his name was, and he said Liam, and the guy went, "All right, Graham." So I call him Graham every now and again. We call him Liam Fucker a lot as well.
Aye.
But that one's used to be hilarious, and now
Tuck Shop. That's a good one. That's
Tuck
come
Shop's
back
good.
In.
Yeah.
Mother,
Liam Tucker.
Mother Tucker.
Mother Tucker's a good one as well.
With a name like Tucker, man, you just sound like the quartermaster in an 18th century ship. It's like, that's incredible. That's what you want.
We used to call him Lazy Tucker, the greasy fucker. That was.
I can see why he didn't appreciate that.
He never liked that one for some reason.
It's just like, if you look at that wee face and it's like, oh, it's
nothing
Lazy
greasy about
Tucker,
it.
the greasy fucker. He's like, could you please don't call me that?
Yeah. He'd be like, I don't appreciate that.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Anyway, we've been talking for a...
Yeah,
for a
where are
while
we
now.
at? I feel like I've talked enough today to start considering calling this one a day.
Is that the end of our therapy session?
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of what this is for me right now.
I mean,
and I feel like I'm getting excited about recording them, but because it's something that's gonna push me to actually speak out loud about things.
It's nice for me to have the opportunity to kind of speak about something that I care about, because I'm honestly like.
Yeah, talking about stuff you care about is well underrated.
Hey guys, you should try it.
Especially like if you're in, I don't know, an underground band or whatever, where you don't want to just blab about your band to people all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, do people give a fuck?
Totally. I mean, there's always an element of like, you work so hard on something, and then at the end of the day, you maybe play to like 10 people at a local show, and it's like, if you're not making the most out of what you do and why you do it, on the surface it can feel a bit crap and a bit disappointing. But
we've kind of surpassed the playing to 10 people thing now, but I remember never being that gutted about it back in the day.
It's one of those things where it's just sort of like, who gives a fuck if these 10... I think even if we played with like in front of 10 people, it would be 10 people who would be like, maybe 3 of them would be already into us, and the rest of them would be into us by the time we finish playing.
Yeah, totally.
And even if they weren't, I wouldn't really have cared, because I've got a wireless unit now. I can just run around and be a dick. So it's kind of fine.
All it can do is win over the people that are in front of you.
That's it.
That's there.
It's nice.
And then if you don't, you still had fun anyway, so it's fine.
That's the thing. It's like, I have so much fun playing with Disposable that it's like, I don't think I've played a bad gig with you guys.
They're all pretty fun.
I mean, arguably,
we always tried to make them pretty fun.
Yeah, arguably our appearance at Forest Fest left a lot to be desired.
I don't agree. I had loads of fun that day.
Oh, I mean, like, I had that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, we didn't play that great.
We had some technical issues.
Mm-hmm.
But we overcame them quite well.
Just because it was just to the point where it was just sort of like, well,
it was a technical.
It's already fucked.
It was a technical. It was a technical issues at the Thrashes Regime album launch that cut me emotionally deep.
I don't remember the Thrashes Regime album launch
because I was very excited to play that gig. Remember the one in like the little practice room place in Jackson?
I remember watching. Oh, that's what happened.
Blanked that out of your memory.
There's a few gigs like the DRI show. Like our performance, like our set, I don't remember. I think the opposite had happened. So my tone was shit. Like my amp wasn't working. Then I managed to get it working, but it was literally just like any sound that I could make, because I was like, oh fuck, that's a sound, cool, let's go, 1 2 3, and then like. See,
I don't even look into any of that crap. DRI was amazing for me. I
mean, watching DRI and that gig in general was great, but like the set, I remember coming off and just being like, that, I hated that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I
came off absolutely buzzing because it was gnarly.
It was one of those ones where it was just sort of like, I might go home, and then Millions of Dead Cops played, and I was like, oh yes, here we go.
Yeah, it was fucking incredible.
Then DRI played, and it's just like, oh yes, here we go.
You always have gigs sometimes, especially if it's a gear related thing. Where something doesn't quite work, or it doesn't sound like it normally does, it can put you off.
With me, it's like...
It probably happens more so with guitar than bass, because my tone's pretty consistently just what it is.
It was Keep It Steel Les Fest. What was that? The one at the Bell.
Oh,
where you couldn't get your bass to work, and then after
Bevy Scotland.
Bevy Scotland, yeah, and then you had to.
Well, I just used a different bass guitar altogether.
You used Gary from Kingpin's bass, and then we started the song, and then the strap came off, and by that point you were just so done that for the rest of the performance you were just screaming your face off.
I was so angry because I was upset because I was so excited for that gig.
Yeah.
And I fucking made sure, like on the back of my bass, where it takes the battery.
Yeah.
The plastic bit that would then clip over that to hold the battery in place, it snapped off ages ago. And there's no way you can buy a new one.
Yeah, it's weird.
So I just put the battery in and I tape over it. And it's always worked.
Except for the specific batteries that you were buying, which were the Extra Life, Duracell Extra Life ones.
Yeah, they were slightly smaller, so they were moving about a bit more. And it was kind of happening at the previous gig.
It happened on Jack's guitar as well.
So I was like, right, before Bevy Scotland, because I really want Bevy Scotland to be really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking make sure that it's all good to go. And then we tried it.
You're telling the story again, and I'm just getting heartbroken all over again for you.
And then we tried it, and it worked, and it obviously moved.
Aye.
Because it was set a little bit loose, and I just could not get it to work at the exact moment we needed to get it to work. Yeah. Even though I changed it all and taped it up again, and then tried it at yours to make sure it was working. So I was so upset and angry, but I was willing to get over it because Gary, being the good guy that he is, let me use his bass guitar.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm playing Gary from Kingpin's bass. And it was like an honour. And then it was like, this strap is going to fall off instantly. Because it was like it's set too low for me or something. So the moment I moved about, it fell off. And I was like, okay, I'm seeing bright red now. Fuck
Watching
this.
the footage back, you're so angry. It's like, you're not even Billy. You don't even look like an angry version of Billy. You just look, you've become somebody else. And that somebody else is not best pleased.
I don't remember anything else from that gig apart from that little bit, because I always focus in on that bit. But looking back at the video, it's like, wow, you were raging, boy.
That was such a fun gig, man.
It was funny because you had such a great time that day, and I was like, so fucking annoying.
I mean, I then had to work the club night afterwards in the same venue, so I made the most of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we've been talking for a fair amount of time. We started at like just before.
Yeah, we need to wrap it up in case I miss the train again.
Oh yeah.
I'm not allowing that to happen.
I'm not lying. That would be hilarious, but at the same time, I don't want it to happen. Anyway, I'm Oliver.
I'm Billy, and this has been episode 2 of the Disp podcast.
And I'm just gonna say, we love you all. Get yourself some almonds. Get yourself a spicy brother.
And let us know in the comments whether it's pronounced cashew or cashew. Did I say the same thing twice there? Cashew or cashew?
Cashew.
Cashew.
Cashew. I don't know what it
We've
is.
swapped, because at the start we've represented different sides of the story.
Cashew now. And you know
Cashew
why I
nuts.
like cashew now? Is I associate your little face saying cashew at me, and that warms my heart.
Yo, you know what I should have said when I sneezed nuts out of my hands? I should have went, cashew!
Fuck off.